It's your boy Mike. Welcome back to another Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra video. Now there is a feedback section that you could put your feedback into in the official Gekishin Squadra server. And I kind of wanted to just look at some of the comments and make a whole video discussing my thoughts and opinions on them and seeing the general opinion of people who submit their feedback to this, right? Like what are the overall top things that the community wants to see changed, right? Right off the get-go, we have remove Cell Jr. game mode completely, please. So yeah, I'm gonna be honest, they could take Golden Cell Jr. out and I would be so happy. Playing solo queue in high ranks from A to S makes me want to self-delete my own files, like absolutely destroy a motel room's walls with my files being splattered all over them. The matchmaking in this game is awful, and you all should feel bad for the mental anguish you've inflicted upon your fan base and player base. Now, this is kind of tricky. If I have played solo queue for such a long time, so I get the sentiment behind this, and I have the same feelings in terms of like how much anguish it could give you, right? When the enemy team is going to have a much better overall team and your team is like one that is just completely incompetent, yes, that sucks. That being said, at the end of the day, it is random. It's a random chance on what teammates you're going to get. It's a random chance on what enemies you're going to get. And if you just keep queuing into bad teammates or you keep queuing into good teammates, it's a coin flip. On top of that, this game is one that you really have to communicate for, right? Like, it's not something you can just not talk to your like allies and then expect to win. So yeah, solo queue is going to be awful. That's why other content creators have asked if there could be like a solo queue only option so that people who are playing by themselves cannot go up against people who are going up against like entire teams, right? And that's completely fine, right? So yes, solo queue is bad, but it's random. They could change it with maybe some like solo queue only queues, I suppose, and that could be pretty nice, but that's just my thoughts and opinions on it, right? Uh-oh, hold on. I think my Discord might have updated. That's kind of weird how it did that though. Add more ways to get gems instead of giving us 10 a week, or just don't make the new players pay to win only. I think that there is definitely a lot of changes that needs to be made in terms of the gems. I think that they should definitely make it at least like 20. But that's just from my perspective, right? Like I in my opinion, you should be able to like purchase the battle pass and then just get the gems overall from that, and having an incentive to play weekly by making it where it's like 20 gems is, in my opinion, a more than fair thing to do. You look at things like Dokkan, you look at things like Legends, and I feel like they're a bit more generous with the premium currency that they give than Gekishin Squadra gives, right? So seeing it being a little bit nicer would be cool. That being said, as per always, I do want to kind of reiterate this point, and we might talk about it later on in the game or later on in the surveys. I don't know if I would really say that the characters are pay to win. Gotenks, in my personal opinion, is not the number one support. I still think that it is Gohan. And the number one DPS is not Super Saiyan 3 Goku. I still think it's Super Saiyan Goku. And those characters are free, you know? So I wouldn't necessarily say that they're pay to win. But that being said, they should definitely change the system on how you can get them. There is no reason why they should be 250 gems for every single character. If it was 120 gems for maybe the less hype characters or for the lower tier characters, and 250 for the biggest unit, then that would be fine. But there should no reason why it should be 250 always. Yep. You need to address the AFK players farming character pieces all day. Yesterday and today I have one in my match. if someone hasn't left the spawn in the first minute, it should kick them, then void the match, and not let them queue for X amount of minutes, and scale up for repeated offenders. Another thing that needs to be addressed is laning. Often someone will go to a lane with 2 other people already on it and just stay there, leaving the other lane 1 versus 2, and gives the other team a quick advantage. Perhaps if it was 5v5, that could work with 4 laners and a rover, but 4v4 it does not work. All right, there's a lot of things that we got to talk about. Let's talk about the AFK part at the start, right? While I personally haven't seen any people farm pieces in my match, maybe that's just something that I've been lucky to not have to handle. But I do think that they need to, if you report, I think it should hopefully work. And if not, then that might just need an update, like the report system and how it works. Like if you report a player, and enough people report them, I think they should just be like temporarily banned until the situation is looked at by like a human or anything. But something like that, an avoid a teammate button would also be really nice. Anything like that, right? And yeah, I'm pretty sure it does have a thing where if you keep disconnecting from matches, you just get a higher and higher penalty. The laning thing over here, this is just bad teammates. This is just bad teammates. Dressed as laning, often someone will go to a lane with 2 other people that are already on it and just make, yeah, that's just bad teammates. This isn't really like that. That's kind of the issue, is that if you're someone who is like a lower rank, you're gonna get against people who just are not really accustomed to these types of games. And Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra is kind of like baby's first MOBA, right? It is a very easy to understand like game, and the fact that it doesn't have like equipment and items and this and that, and have it where like it's just very not dumbed down, but well, I guess it just dumbed down, right? So that's just an issue of just whoever you queue into, right? That being said, having it where we can potentially see like another map that's a 5v5 would be really nice. I would definitely like to see something like this where maybe we can have 5 team lobbies instead of just the usual 4. That being said, I genuinely do not know what I would want the 5th character to be. Definitely not DPS, but I don't know if I would want it to be tank or support, and I don't want it to be like a choose your own, because I think that it could have it where if it's not the same for both teams, it could lead to a little bit of an unbalanced situation. Why are gems tied to platform acquired? I did games on my phone, and then gems are tied to when I purchase them on Steam. Game is cross-platform. How come gems aren't? I believe that there's like a law about this, and that's the reason why. Because it happens with every single game. Dokkan has it. Legends has it. Gekishin Squadra has it. Any type of game that you can buy currency on does not transfer between platforms. So, well, like any Bandai game. I'm not sure if any other game does it as well. But I don't know why that is a thing though. Fix the matchmaking, add voice chat, tired of these brainless idiots I have to party with. Again, there's like no, the only fix I agree with is you should not be queuing up against people who are not your rank. So if you are an S rank player and you are solo queuing, there is no way that you should be queuing up against someone who is all S rank teams, and then you have your own team, and then there's like a B rank or a C rank or like a lower rank than you, right? It should be around the same tier as you. That's the only matchmaking thing that I have personally encountered that I think that they could fix. Voice chat is a horrible like doorway into a lot of things. Is it like they could have it to, they could add it for sure, and it could definitely help out a lot with the communication, but I'm just saying you're opening up a lot of doorways into toxicity, and there's a reason why a lot of these games don't have voice chat, right? Like even games other than Gekishin Squadra that are like team-based games don't have voice chat, and it's easily because of that. Now, could they moderate it? For sure, but still. 14 likes. All right, let's see. I'm going to uninstall this game now, and I believe everyone else should. The sheer stupidity and try-hardness this season has brought upon this game has been a complete nightmare, and I'm done. I'm not going to wait for months on end just for you to say, here's your 1-2 buffs, 1 to 2 buffs / nerfs. This game ain't gonna last a year the way things are right now if they don't change immediately. I've tried desperately to enjoy the game. It is nearly impossible to do so when either idiots or stacked teams are all that you have to go against. Stacking needs to be banned if you're solo queuing. Make a separate thing for stacked teams that can face against other ones. Let solo queue be its own thing and not have stacked teams at all. I'm sick of this crap. I can't even get out of A rank because that's how much the problem is for the longest time. Okay, whatever. My like the rollback thing went off. I'm so sick of this crap. I can't even get out of A rank because that's how bad this problem is. For the longest time, I was stuck in B rank. This has been the most awful experience I had aside from playing Dragon Ball Legends. Okay, this is going to be another thing we're going to have to go through, like, as much as we can as possible, right? If you don't enjoy the game, like, 100%, you should not continue to play it. I understand that, like, not everyone is going to get the same amount of enjoyment that I personally get in playing this game, right? And for sure, I do think that they should have a solo queuing option that you can only go against enemies and teammates that are solo queuing, and the same thing for teammates where you are like you can't go against stack teams as a solo queue, right? Like that's 100% for sure, right? That being said, they said from the start, they were like, we wanted to have it where every single patch was going to have like a whole bunch of character changes and have it where there's a whole bunch of changes only during like those bigger updates. And they were like, we want to listen to your feedback more often though, and that's why they're going for the 2 buffs / nerfs option, is because they want to do small changes here and there and make it more frequent rather than having it where it's an entire list of changes to characters, but it's more paced out, right? So I on one hand, I get it. There are characters that I think need to be adjusted. Something like Cooler needs to be in line with other tanks because he is just by far the best one. There are like Gohan. Any character that has gotten a buff has just gotten too big of a buff in a sense, right? Like they overly buffed a lot of these characters and they needed to adjust them back a little bit to the point where they were not like tremendously, right? But there's so many cases of that. So yes, I understand that like the 1 to 2 buffs and nerfs isn't like ideal, but at the same time I think that's just how it's going to have to be if we want to see these changes more often, right? They're not going to just like do an entire list of changes every single 2 weeks, right? That's just how it is. Please add in Android the touch controls. I don't use Android, but if you have issues with the like Android controls, that's something I can't really talk about because I don't play on Android, right? Role proficiency change. Please change how roles and ranks proficiency works to be more about individual performance and not for the team as a whole or separate duo, trio, full queue from solo queue. Both of this should be changed for sure. I am sick and tired of actually climbing up only to be booted down by getting bot allies and human allies. So dumb it makes you question if they had a brain removal surgery on them recently by never going to bosses, never defending towers, constantly abandoning me when I need them, and never surrender, which obviously going to lose, which ends up making me wish it was a bot instead. Meanwhile, my enemies play perfectly in sync with one another and get every single EX Cell Jr. All show up to take boss and stop my team so much that there's no way that at least 10 of them weren't in a party with the comms on Discord. Don't punish the individual with bots or brain dead allies with the demotion for not getting a sweat carry god versus a duo trio full comms with or full party with comms. All of this should be in the game. The ability to queue like this would be nice. The ability to have your elo not go up or down as much depending on how you did in a match would be nice. And again, this is more so just like the teammates that you're going up against and teammates that you're having, right? It's really hard to do stuff or change things like that, right? Please remove or at least put a toggle to the auto locking of skills and instant advantages in the game. And no, I'm not talking about the rush attack settings that has a lock the target toggle. I'm not talking about that. When you try to flee from an opponent, for example, Gohan's skill 2, the game auto locks your attack to the enemy who is in your face. This also applies to instant advantages for some reason for the same criterion. Auto locking of skills and instant advantages in the game. I think what they're saying is like Goku's jump, if you're trying to jump away and they maybe jump towards you, that's what it means. I'm not too sure, because they're also saying vanishes, which I've never had that issue before, so I don't know. On play with Golden Soul Juniors, we need no divine card mode. No, just remove them from the game. As an A-rank player, it should be impossible to be matched up with anyone lower than A. Yep. I just had a worst game of my life. B1, C1, 3, D3. Yep. Fix matchmaking, remove Cell Junior EX mode, add a blocking function, add a friend button, and please make more gems more affordable for people with lower incomes. 80 USD is a bit much for the gems, and the 20 USD packs aren't even worth it. In my opinion, matchmaking, of course, fix that. EXL Junior, take that out. Blocking function, yes. Add a friend button of like, hell yes, dude. It's so crazy that you are not able to, that you're not able to have it where you can add people who you just like were insanely good with, right? Like there's people in the past that I've wanted to try adding, but you just can't. You know, you can't go into the game and try adding that person, which does suck. I would say that I'm okay with gems not being affordable if they just increase the amount you can get daily. Like I said, if they made it where you could get like 20, 30 gems every single week just by playing the game, I probably wouldn't have as much issues as I have with the how expensive it is for the gems. So still have dog water bot teammates, and now the game keeps skipping and having input lag. Will be dead before season 1. No one wants mind numbing bots as teammates. It's ridiculous. No, I think the game's doing pretty fun, but again, that's the thing, is that a lot of people are just going to say to have it where matchmaking is fixed. Add an option to see friends requests to your teammates after a game. Simply yes. I don't play on Android, so I don't know. Make an ability to log out from the account, because it's really annoying when you create an account by accident. Now you can't log out by any chance. I've heard a lot of people have this issue, and they definitely should have a thing to log out. And the amount of people who have reached out to support, and then they just get into like a feedback loop of, oh, can I get your ID? Okay, thank you. Can I get your email? Okay, can I have your ID? Oh, thank you. Can I have your email? It's like, it should be an easier process for sure. You shouldn't have to really contact support to be able to log out of an account. Allow us to block players. So, yep, this might actually just fix matchmaking by itself. If you win 7 matches, you will get a reward wish. Because you win, you get a Dragon Ball. That could be actually kind of cool. If you got 7 wins, maybe that could be like one of the daily systems. You get like a win a day. And then after a week of playing, you get like day 1, you get 10 gems. Day 2, you get 10 gems. 3, 23, 4, 20. Then on day 5, you get like 30 gems, and then 50. Or you get like a wish that could give you 50 gems, or Zenny, or character memory. That could be really, really nice. I'd be so down with that if they made that like an implementation. Since legendary animations like Eufull and Daimagoku's intro aren't in the summon rotation, I would suggest adding a separate banner with all the animations not in this new animations banner and make them 3 featured like the standard one, but just for switch them out for higher rarity rates daily. For example, how the Gotenks intro is rated up, make it so that the older animations, and instead of having it wait weeks for rated up animations to change for a day, or even we'll just choose old animations we want rated up. I feel like this would give players an opportunity to give animations they want and would overall increase the player satisfaction. Additionally, this would give players something to summon on, especially if they aren't interested in the new character summon animations. For sure. Something that kind of sucks is that we don't know when these animations are going to be coming back. So either being able to choose which animations you want to see on the banner and maybe pick out some of the animations that you already have would be a nice option. Or like how it's suggested here, just having an entirely separate banner would be also pretty cool. But either one is fine with me. Quick match is avoided by any reason since literally every play standard, or it should be named ranked. So it's just filler that doesn't even give you any experience or sorts. Make quick match an actual quick match by making it faster or smaller. Well, the whole point of quick match is so that way you're supposed to try out characters that you maybe haven't tried. And it's more like a practice lobby than anything, I would say. So if you take your like if you're going to use characters that you haven't used before, I would always recommend using them in quick match before taking them into standard, but that's just me personally. Allow custom matches to break role limit, 2 DPS, 1 tank, 1 tech, since it's our lobbies. So let's all go DPS if we want. While you're at it, break the role limit for secondary game modes too, please. Quick battle, land grab, veggie rush, etc. That could actually be pretty nice. This would be a really cool idea. Snowball needs to be nerfed to 2 stacks. You can get the card a minute into the match and it has the potential to let you dominate the game later on. It's too powerful. Snowball was one of the biggest like cards that you would get before the update, and then they just made it better. Like, I don't understand why they buffed it. Gems don't sync between versions. I have 10 gems held hostage in the mobile because of this. Yeah. Change standard battle, aka ranked mode, from being the default selected game mode. Ranked shouldn't be competitive and not should be competitive and not if you don't know how to play your character or the game really. Yes. Like you should have it where quick battle is like standard battle, and then there should be the ranked battle, I suppose, because more people are gonna choose that than anything is the standard, because it's standard, of course. Don't get me wrong, custom battles are great to have, but you can't be serious about tournaments when you have not balanced the game yet. What a joke. I mean, the issue with trying to constantly adjust characters is that I'm trying to think of like how to phrase this. There's always going to be a number 1 character, and there's always going to be like the worst character, right? So trying to constantly adjust that is going to be insane to try to do, right? And the issue is only going to get worse and worse as time goes on and new characters come out, because it's just going to be even harder to balance adjust everyone, which is why you should try your best to submit these feedback in general. Don't talk about how it's not balanced. Talk about what you want to see balanced. People complained that Super Saiyan Goku was number 1 and was far way better than number 1 than everyone else in the game. And now he is still number 1, but he feels a lot more aligned with every other top of the line DPS, right? Rather than talk about how shit Bojack is and how the game needs to be adjusted. Talk about the adjustments you want to see for Bojack, you know? Stuff like that. Because just saying, oh, the game's not balanced, well, what specifically do you want to be balanced? Talk about that, you know? Like Cell Juniors are not balanced, and everyone complains about that. Everyone hates EX Cell Juniors. So that's just my personal opinion. I think not only is it, like I said, just going to be hard to make it perfect with balance adjustments, like no game feels like every single character is the same tier. Like there's always going to be top tiers and bottom tiers no matter what game you look at that has characters that all do different abilities. So it's just hard to do is all I'm saying. But again, if you have a problem with the character, then talk about it. Almost every character game feels incredibly unbalanced compared to the one good team you can run. Only 2 DPS can stand on their own. Only one tank is actually very good, and technical is the only role that feels like everyone is viable. This is true. Technical is the best designed role in the entire game. The fact that you can run any character now in technical and it doesn't feel like you're throwing is pretty crazy. All the characters that are in technical that needed to be balanced got balanced, and sure, there are still top technicals and bottom technicals, but it's crazy how there's like an S tier DPS and like an D tier DPS, Bojack. And then you look at the technical and it's just like SA and then B maybe. Like they're so good, right? Nerf Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Cooler. Cooler does not need the ability to be invincible when he's using skills and gets powered up if you hit them while he is. One or the other, not both. I think the window that he has invincibility should probably just be lowered instead. Or instead of having it where he has invincibility, maybe just straight up damage reduction would be better. So that way it's not like, I don't know, like he shouldn't, I don't know, I definitely don't think he should be invincible. I think just having like a decent amount, kind of like Khalifa, how Khalifa has like a decent amount of damage reduction. I think Cooler should be somewhat similar, where it's just like when he pops abilities, he has like a really decent chunk of damage reduction. Almost like you're using, what's that one divine card? The Solid Barrier? That could be kind of, I feel like that would be more fair. Super Saiyan 3 Goku is a completely busted beast. His Kamehameha busted, Skill 2 busted, Instant Transmission busted. Don't even get me started on combining Instant Transmission and Kamehameha. His ultimate is damn near useless. The only way you've been hitting someone is dumb enough to just stand still while they're in front of you. What? All right, let's break this down. Kamehameha is easily very, very good for Goku. I think it definitely is his best skill. That being said, he has such a big issue with him. And that issue is that if you get close to him, he is so much worse than people are making him out to be. That is the like complete reason why 18 sort of counters him. Because if you have someone who is brawling Super Saiyan 3 Goku right next to him, if you just literally walk around Super Saiyan 3 Goku, then it's going to be so easy to kill him, right? But his instant transmission and Kamehameha combo is pretty overpowered. The one change I would probably make is don't give it smaller cooldowns for teleporting to teammates. Sorry, for teleporting to enemies. That is it. You already have an incentive to teleport to enemies, so to give it where you have a smaller cooldown because of that is very silly. I think it should give the cooldown to allies, so that way if you teleport to allies, you would get the cooldown instead. I just don't really see why it's with enemies. His skill 2, I don't know. There is nothing that seems busted about it to me. Like, it does okay damage. It has a big wind up time, and sure, his reach is farther than somebody like Super Saiyan Goku, but isn't Super Saiyan Goku's Meteor Hammer just straight up like better? I can't see what's busted about it. I don't see what's busted about Super Saiyan 3 Goku's like second thing. Instant transmission though is I feel like does need at least a small adjustment. Even though I don't believe that Super Saiyan 3 Goku is the #1 DPS even now, his instant transmission does need to get adjusted just a little bit. His ult isn't useless though, by the way. It's not the best, but it is pretty good. It's very good for securing bosses, and it's very good for doing exactly what Kamehameha is supposed to do, which is if you see everyone laning together, you now have it where you can set up and do a lot of long range damage, right? And then what else about it? Like if you do it on tower as well, you can always push people off of tower because of how just big the range is on it, right? But yeah, it is pretty easy to like try to, or to just move out of. I still wouldn't say that it's useless though. You can get so many kills off of Super Saiyan 3 Goku's like Dragon Fist if you set it up properly. Divine Draws, get rid of the ones that give more skill points levels. So just EXL Junior. Certain characters get way too many benefits from it. Namely talking about Superstar and EX Junior. You're a Superstar hater? I'm not even gonna talk about that. Make Dominant Goku better. I don't know. The buff that he got was already pretty big, and his Wasabi Bomb paired with his lightning is pretty nice as well. His ultimate could use a little bit of a buff, but yeah. Dude, people sleep on Dominant Goku. He has an interesting playstyle, but he is not somebody that you just know is throwing. Because you either have the really good Diamond Goku players, it's like hit. Either you have a really decent hit or you have a really bad hit. You either have a really good Diamond Goku or you have a really bad Diamond Goku. Stop adding Saiyans, give us more interesting characters like Bergamo, Super Garlic, Junior Hachiyak, Tapion, or something. Someone even like Frost. Again, I think you don't really have to add this point. You could just say this, you know? Like, no matter what Saiyans are going to sell, so just talk about the characters you actually want to see. Gameplay is good. Design choices, balancing choices, new additions are often not. I love the game, and I want it to be fun, but in its current state, it feels like torture. Wait a minute, I just realized. They're saying stop adding Saiyans when literally unless you mean like hybrid Saiyans and pure Saiyans, but we're getting Topo. Like, they're showing us that they're not doing just Saiyans. The design choices, balancing choices, and new additions are often not. I love the game and I want it to be fun, but in its current state, it feels like torture to play. Again, if you don't have fun, just don't play. 25 likes. Ooh, let's see this. I've been playing Gekishin Squadra a lot lately, and I'm starting to feel like it's frustrating. You play all day and still earn almost no zenny from matches. The more you play, the fewer fragments you seem to get, which really kills the motivation to keep grinding. On top of that, the battle pass costs 250 gems, but only gives 150. The new characters stay completely locked, free-to-play players for about 3 months. It's really discouraging to be stuck playing the same characters over and over without a realistic way to unlock new ones sometime soon. I really like the gameplay, but the rewards and progression system make the experience very unrewarding and kind of exhausting. Yeah, I get it. I've said for the longest time that the battle pass needs a change. Like, that's one of the most popular videos that I dropped within the last like 30 days was talking about the battle pass needing to be changed, right? So yeah, it does need to be changed. The characters and how they like what's the way to put this? The characters need to also be free to play as well. There is no reason why these new characters should cost so much when the main focus on like trying to earn monetization should be the animations and the skins. That is your biggest selling point. So to be like, oh, you gotta have to buy the character. Oh, you have to buy the skins. Oh, you have to buy the animations. Oh, you have to buy this to look cool. Oh, you have to. You already got me on the skins. You got me on the animations. You got me on the costumes and all that and everything in terms of that. You don't have to sell the character on top of that. You know, like what's the way to put this? I feel like the game would just do better and would sell more of like everything if they just made it where people were able to get the new characters for free and just unlock it with Zenny and then just increase the Zenny amount more than we already have. And yeah, again, I get it. You can play all day and earn no Zenny from matches. Battle Pass and the what's it called, the like when you get 100k points and then you're able to get like 500 zenny, like those are kind of the main ways of getting zenny, but it can still feel like such a grind, you know. So I still do think that they need to adjust zenny to give a little bit more, but yeah. I love this game, but please fix ranked. Why did I win 2 games and only gain 37 elo, but I lose 1 game and lose 42 elo? The match was extremely close as well. It literally makes 0 sense. Cleefla and Kale need to skin with... Can the memories be adjusted so that slot... Wait, did I actually talk about the... What is it called? Nah, I did talk about everything. Can Boo get a defensive buff during it? No. I saw this one before, and it's like, come on. Boo's heal is already tremendously annoying to fight because of the fact that not only are you healing yourself, but you're healing the person that you're, healing, of course. So it's busted as it is, There's a reason why he is easily one of the better technicals right now. Do not give him any more buffs. Please, for the love of God, man. Do not. Worst implementation of a game, leaving it permanently with my other 8 friends. Okay. Again, to talk about what, like, whatever. Yes, remove Cell Juniors. I love the game, but so far it's hard to play when the network the network is not at its best. Yeah, I've had a lot of ping issues too, and Mina has as well. I live in Singapore, and the average ping I get for the Asia server is 100. I have never gotten a ping below that number. No, it is not my device or network that is the problem. Please explain the issue, because I feel like I am not playing at my full potential because of the lag. Yes, I think they need to look into that as well. It is kind of curious how some players just aren't able to get pings that are better. Can you remove the feature that makes Dragon Gems not have cross progression? If they can, I think they should as well. Game of decline, talk about why. Fix matchmaking, I should not be getting B ranked teammates. Yep. Nerf Daima's one shot too. I believe Android 18 needs a late game buff. Her early game is strong because of her ability to duel opponents and choose a target in 2v2 lanes. In the end game, she has a glaring issue where hitting multiple enemies at once will only mark the last enemy hit. This means every time she would throw a destructor disc at 4 enemies, only the last one would hit would reset to 1 stack of pursuit. This makes her completely unplayable because she has hit the same target 4 times in a row without hitting anyone else, or else all her targets will be making her completely useless. I haven't played 18. I need to, so I can't really talk about her kit personally, but I don't know. 18 can still target a lot of people. Again, like I said, the biggest counter to like these Saiyans like Super Saiyan Goku and Super Saiyan 3 Goku, I feel like is 18 because of just her close range combat and how those characters use things like Kamehameha that are meant more so for long range combat, so to get up close and personal with 18 is what is going to be able to win you most of these fights, right? But I don't know. Also, it's funny how we saw buff Daima Goku and now we see nerf Daima Goku. Buff Cell and Bojack because they're both kind of useless. Yes. This is what I'm saying. Just talk about like what you want to see in terms of, if you think that something is not fair, then talk about what you want to see in the balances. Don't just say the game is unbalanced. Talk about the balance you want to see. Buff Cell and Bojack because they're both kind of useless to use in the game. After playing for a month now, I started to realize that they're really bad characters, mostly for certain things about them, like Cell's passive, how easy it is to counter, and Bojack just to be useless. Yes, Bojack is completely useless for sure. There is like one good Bojack player in the world and a handful of good Cell players in the world. Consider adding a permanent long match mode with increased health values as well as slightly larger map. This is what I was talking about, like having a 5v5 mode. That would be really cool if they added it where it was like that. I like the game being fast paced, but the current like make like a jungle roll. That would be nice. But the current pace is so breakneck, so a lot of these games are about 8 minutes unless it freezes stalling on defense. Also, I would like the main mode to be full built up with longer. Wait, hold on. While I would like the main mode being buffed up with longer TTKs, I understand people like this pace, so adding a separate mode that is on average, let's say 12 to 16 minutes longer with longer fights, plus maybe make those 1 to 2 million damage requirements for hero badges possible. Like I said, I still think that they should add like long game modes too. It's funny because they went in the actual opposite direction with vegetable battle. All right. This game could really benefit from taking the secure zones from Heroes of the Storm. The boss's effects are too powerful to be decided by who got the last hit. Giving it to the team that did the most damage would be favor very specific burst characters. A secure zone would still reward killing a boss before an enemy arrives, stop last hitting, but also encourage fighting over objectives and give solid team opportunities. Please consider adding a similar mechanic, especially if you still replan to re-add the Great Ape. I don't play Heroes of the Storm, so I'm not really too sure how that system would work. Bots already exist in Squadra, so why not make a real PvE mode? Man versus machine! They annoy competitive players in ranked and frustrate PvE fans who know the tech is there but unused. A dedicated bot mode would make everybody happier. That would be pretty cool, though. Don't let people who are S rank party with people who are C or below. It just ruins the game. And you get less points. You're just wasting your time even if you win. Yeah. I feel like it should be a little bit more strict. Something like how Marvel Rivals is, where if you are more than a tier above or below someone, you just can't queue with them. That would be better, in my opinion. Urgently needs a way to add friends. We already talked about that. Yeah, the friend system needs to be implemented. New Hero Going 6 is really good overall, but its second ability feels really weak. It's too slow and needs improvement. It would be much more fun if you could trap or mobilize the target like Cell or Cooler's abilities like it does. It's mostly for late game though, because like his 2 late game is very powerful, and it's kind of like a lot of these other characters' ultimates. You look at something like Cooler's ultimate and it does some decent damage, but it's not the main draw of the ability. The fact that it's bringing people closer and compare with other things like Spirit Bomb, it compare with things like the Dragon Fist, it compare with just any of these AoE ultimates. That is what Gotenks is like just best for, you know? So yeah, like I guess it should probably be adjusted to just maybe go a little bit faster, but everything about it other than the casting speed is all that needs to be adjusted, in my opinion. Like the casting speed is the only thing that needs it. If I have 13 assists and they have 13 KOs, then I should have MVP because I got them to 1 HP and Dude just steals final hit. Rework your stupid MVP system because it has rigged as a summon rates. Yeah, but MVP provides literally nothing. It's just boasting. It doesn't matter. Clef was also, hold on. You're saying that what is more important is assists than KOs? Come on. The final hit, yes. If someone just continuously steals your kills, then sure. It's not like they can track that though. But like, final hits are so important in games like this, right? Because you can bring someone down to as low as 1 HP. Unless you're getting that final hit, that don't mean jack shit, bruh. But yeah. Khalifa's provoked. Yes, dude. Khalifa's provoked effect needs to be seriously nerfed. She breaks the game, takes no damage, nullifies all the enemies' DPS characters, and provoked effect lasts for so damn long. Nerf her or the effect. What I believe would be a good nerf for Khalifa is having it where abilities should not like it's like so hard to think about how it would work though. What I was gonna say is I feel like your escape options should not be like tied to the direction of Khalifa for some instances, but again, then what's the whole point of using provoked, right? Either way, things like Super Saiyan 3 Goku, again, another character who gets countered by Khalifa because you can't fucking use instant transmission because of Khalifa's provoked. We've tested it, me and Mina. It like hollows out the effect of instant transmission if you're provoked. So, and it locks onto Khalifa. So that's bullshit. But other than that, I don't really know how they would make it where like the escape options would be adjusted, right? Because the whole point of provoked is to make it where you can only target that character. So I don't know. because I think having it where it only does it for beams would be a little bit too big of a nerf. So I don't know how they would nerf her, but she definitely needs something changed. For the love of God, that provoked is so fucking toxic, man. Day 432 of asking for an 18. It's so funny when people ask for 18 nerf. And then you just see someone asking for 18 buff later on. Everyone is saying Gotenks needs emergency nerfs. No, he does not. 18 does. When has anyone ever said that Gotenks needs emergency nerfs? She wipes the floor with him. Remove the surrender button. It is useless. No. People surrender before you can even break the dragon shot at the end. What is the point in having these cool Dragon Ball Get animations if the enemy team can just surrender and ruin it? In that case, I feel like the MVP animation, not the MVP animation, the Dragon Ball acquired should be given to the MVP. So if you surrender, if that is like your biggest issue is that you want people to be able to see the Dragon Ball acquire animations, it just make it where when you forfeit, the MVP of the enemy team will get the Dragon Ball. Remove the squad from ranked and fix the bug from where you can quit without receiving a punishment. Those two things are killing your game. Remove squad from ranked. Yeah, don't play with friends, guys. You can just ask for solo queue. A solo queue, if you will. Quit without receiving punishment. That has been... I haven't seen it at all since... I haven't seen it at all since the update. And maybe like once or twice. Add a wish system to the gacha so you have a higher chance to pull the things you really want. What would be really nice is if you could create your own featured pool. So the new animations are going to be featured and they all have 1% chances, but then like you can choose the other 4 or 5 1% and have it where it's like that. That could be pretty nice. Buff Zamasu, the revive is useless because you can get attacked during the animation where he revives, so then we can just kill you during that. So either change that or buff his healing or his damage. Most of his attacks don't even have the special effect like a buff after using them. They nerfed him a lot, and it does. I do think that they do need to give him a little bit of a buff for sure. But again, they really just need to be careful with all these buffs that they've been giving characters, because a lot of the time they over buff rather than like under buff, right? These characters that they buff are genuinely some of the best in the game. So they got to be a little bit careful with it. Vegas with new characters cannot be played in ranked mode for a patch. I've seen a good number of games that there is a good chance that the new characters will not be balanced when they first come out. Gives everyone time to get needed info. The characters just letting them be OP and ranked. This would be okay for your game to be less pay to win and more friendly for free to play who don't want to spend the money to be able to do it in ranked. I've seen so many brain dead players in my rank or higher just because Super Saiyan 2 is easy to play, not balanced compared to the other damage dealers. Simple fix. I don't know. Maybe a ban system for when you got to like A to S rank would be nice, and then at that point you could just ban the new character if you do believe that they are too OP. Because I would be more down with having it where characters are banned rather than or that like you can vote to ban characters rather than just being outright banned themselves. At that point you're just making no incentive to even play the new characters at all then. Day 7 of asking divine draws to be removed from ranked. And also, I can't stress this enough. Make it so that the bosses go towards the team with that dealt the most damage. It's way too easy for enemies to camp with heroes like Piccolo and them to have the point go to them. Something needs to be done with it because I know there's too many players who have experienced that as well. The thing is, and I feel like a lot of people really don't do it inside of the game. Stop going for the boss if you are in a team fight. If you are someone like Super Saiyan Goku, stop fucking opening the battle with a spirit bomb, and then you won't run into this issue 9 times out of 10, right? Like, there's so many mistakes that you could find with people, and I'm not saying that this person doesn't. I'm just saying that in general, a lot of people who complain about it do things like that, and it's so frustrating. If you notice that Piccolo is charging up a special beam cannon, call it out. Do something about it. Start attacking him. He is literally so fucking slow until he uses the special beam or he cancels it. So target him. Target him so that way he can't do that. Use Khalifa's Provoked. Stun him with Gotenks. Stun him with Gohan. Just do something. Something. If you're a DPS, kill him. If you are a support character, stun him. What is it? What's like the it's like there's the stun and then there's like the stagger or whatever it is where you just can't use abilities for a little bit, like how Gohan has. But it's I don't remember what the actual like name of it is, but just stuff like that. If you're a tank, push him out of the way. Like there's so much things that you can do to work around this. Now, if you want to say that the like boss should go to whoever team dealt the most damage, I think that kind of it's not gonna provide the thing that you want, in my opinion, because all it is going to do is give Frieza a tremendous buff. A person who can like deal insane amount of damage to bosses like Frieza, that's all that's gonna happen is stuff like that, right? So I think having it where like it is now is fine. But yeah, give actual bans to those. I lost the first trade of the game, so I'll stay AFK and base all game. Yes, I don't know why it's not like a thing, but when you like report someone, and this is gonna be like my own feedback as well. When you report someone and they don't like they get banned or whatever, why don't they have it where you get the elo that you lost in that match? Like just make it where like, oh yeah, that game is now null and void for the people who lost. The winners still get the elo, but the losers get that elo back. Because fucking A, man, if someone gets banned because they threw the match, you should get the elo back. And that's just my personal opinion. Can we get Avoid as a teammate as a feature? Yes, please. Hey, absolutely over game, and I think that this would go great if you added some sort of AFK system where you get rewards or just staying at the AFK place. If you don't, I think that your game is awesome and addictive. Keep up the work. This is not Roblox. There is no system that would benefit from being AFK. What would be cool though is if you maybe had it where there was like ads you can potentially watch for Dragon Gems. Like I don't know, you watch ads for other Bandai projects and you get like 50 gems or something like that. So like you watch the new trailer for Fighter Z and you get like some gems from that. You watch the trailer for Kakarot and you get the gems for that, right? Like that would be so cool. Stop making your release characters pay to win and accessible to those who purchase gems. At least give us ways of obtaining Dragon Gems instead of giving us 2 weekly gems. Like give us 5 minutes each. 10 Dragon Gems every week. So true. Great game, but obtaining new characters needs to be better and can't be just diamonds alone. If I have to spend Zenny, that's fine. Or if they added the battle pass so that I could work even the star collection system. Yeah, there is so much stuff that they can do to fix a way to get characters that they really need to do it. There's a star collection system that they already have. There is the battle pass, which can just potentially give you new characters like that. Maybe just like character tickets that you can use to get any character you want, including new characters. There is Zenny that they can make to have it where you can get or purchase characters like that. Like they have so many ways to change it, but they just need to. I think it is going to be changed after season 1, but this is just me. We'll read this last one because we're already at almost an hour of talking. Actually, no, let's get to an hour of talking. And then after we get to an hour, we'll go ahead and stop. Where are the Android skins? When are you going to refresh the skins in the shop? I don't want any of the skins that have been in the shop for more than a month now and cannot open any more casuals until the shop refreshes since my EX coins are maxed out. Why did you even put a limit on how many you can carry? This is all stuff that has already been discussed, so we're not going to talk about it. Fix the Cell Juniors matches. It creates way too much. Yes. 17's ultimate is useless. It's too short to protect against other ultimates like Bojack's or even Spirit Bomb, because unless you time it perfectly and it isn't effective against physical attacks. I've died several times using the barrier. The HP boost should either stay or decay over time. That I do believe in. The decay is something that would be nice. Keep it there for it should happen for the for 17's regular barrier as well, in my personal opinion. Completely useless. His barriers in general should instead of disappearing after 1.5 seconds. And his level 2 skill is useless because it has no range. It's the one skill no one ever upgrades. This is true. The skill's range should increase with the level as well as the damage. 17 saved the entire U multiverse in the anime, and yet in the game he's outclassed by base form, Frieza, and hit. Literally makes no sense. Don't bring power scaling into this. Please fix these issues, and for goodness sake, nerf both Super Saiyan Goku. They already did that, and Super Saiyan 3, especially him. His Kamehameha does way too much damage and lasts forever. I regret spending money on this game. I probably wouldn't have even played it if I known there's issues going to be there. Literally already back playing Pokemon Unite because of these issues. Oh, and fix matchmaking. Why am I in solo and duo queue against 4 stacks, and my entire A and B team went up against S team? Yep. And one of them was a top 10 player in the world. I can't get the game. I get the game is new, but I just can't do this anymore. Well, yeah. But they have been very, very open about the feedback and how they're trying to adjust to it, which is why I always say to try and talk about these issues that you want to be changed, is because they're listening. And the easiest way is by putting it into these I guess forums or into these messages, having it where the surveys, you put it into the survey as well, things like that. Like, I guarantee before the season is over, we'll probably have it where the EXL juniors is completely removed, hopefully, or just at the start of the next season, right? Or adjusted, anything, right? So yeah, 17 though, I do think needs like just a small buff, because it's not his ultimate is useless. It's just it is very, very tight for how it the like shield works. So I do think that he just needs an overall like small buff for that for sure. Remove gold soldiers. Yep. Day 3, 4, 5 asking divine drops being removed from center battle. No, I like them. Maybe if they want to make like their own little like no divine draw thing, that could be okay, but I like them. I feel like the only way to balance it to where he is fair is to remove God Tower chip damage. Yes. They should not have it where people are able to chip. Please, dude. They urgently need to fix the matchmaking being rank A. I have to play with people rank. Yep. Piccolo should gain a transformation at level 7. Like the other character in the game, but only if he uses Nail as his helper. That would be pretty funny though. A level 7 Piccolo fuses with Nail and can no longer use him as a helper but during battle, but all of Piccolo's stats are raised just like other characters at the transformation. Thank you kindly. That would actually be pretty cool. Or maybe just having it where like his normal attacks are like a slightly weaker version than if you already were to have Nail there. That would be really cool. Like a permanent Nail buff, but it's just slightly weaker than just using Nail in general. I don't know. Please get rid of the intros at the start of the match. They take way too long, and add to the time it takes again to imagine the game. Very short matches. It's too much downtime. I typed this whole message while the intros were playing. It's ridiculous. I always triple the speed of them if they have to stay. Yeah, but how much was the R farm? This is why you get no upvotes. Why is your player base more brain dead than Unite? Add a play with the same team button after the in. Oh, yes. Remove Gold Cell Jr. from the game, or just having it like again. You can add teammates. Competitive mode without divine draw. It's ruining the experience. I don't want to have to fight a ×3 Super Saiyan 3 Goku, erasing me from resistance at level 3. That is true. I think that if you want to say that some of these characters get too good at Superstar, I can definitely understand. So if they wants to have it where like divine draws are not, if there's a separate non-divine draw thing, that would be okay. Okay, this will be the last one that we do. The game was pretty fun until you have to run them with players who aren't experienced as you may be. That's why you should always go into groups like this, though. There's a looking for group channel. You could always try to find other people. I mean, like literally the last video that we did, we just did that, right? Without teamwork, there's virtually no way to secure a win. No, I've won a lot of games of solo queue. I've got to S rank with solo queue. I suggest implementing a voice chat option for those who wish to communicate better. I guess if they wanted to, I feel like text chat would be fine. But I don't know. I'm still hesitant on them adding voice chat because, like I said, you already know how toxic it's going to be. Let's not sit here and pretend that it's not going to be like insanely toxic, right? The alerts help, but not when you're playing with an asshat. It's true. Please make it where people can't ping like 60 times in a row. On top of implementing a voice chat via the game option, let's also level out matchmaking. There should be no reason I should be put. Yep. Matchmaking definitely needs to be skill based. Yep. You shouldn't be able to even play with certain ranks if you're below the threshold. Yep. There are literally people who grief and play this game solo queue and make this game unbearable. Yep. Also need a block options you never play. Yep. Don't want to kill the hype behind this game. I'll do one more because like a lot of that stuff is stuff we already. Nope. Not looking at the 18 user nerf. Remove or remake the. Yeah, we'll talk about this one. This will be the last one. Remove or remake the snowball item is destroying the balance of the game by ruining any chance of average TTK experiences. What is it? Multiple characters can take it and never lose stacks because they're uncatchable. Super Saiyan 3 hit Frieza, the soon to be buffed Kaioken Goku. He didn't get buffed, he got nerfed. Remove it or rework it into a normal, consistent damage item and make them a balanced TTK environment, or at least just revert the stupid buff you gave it for the release. This is true. I don't know why they buffed it. They should have just left it as is, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion, right? We'll go ahead and stop there, though. Let me know what you guys think of video types like this. Like, should we wait for another week and then talk about how this is again? Or like, do you guys like this style of content where we just go into the feedback? If you guys want, you can also put some feedback down in the comments below and I'll try to give my thoughts and opinions on that. But either way, thank you all for watching. Hope you guys have a great issue week. Hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace.